Okay, Cody Ceci gets a 1 year, $4.3 million contract. If you're a Senators fan, here you go. Your unrestricted free agents next summer: Stone, Duchesne, Dzingel, Pyatt, Carlson, Weidman. Restricted free agents: Colin White and Cody Ceci. And as somebody who's cheered for the Senators for a very long time, it's a dark time. And the reason is simple. So Ceci, they've kicked the ball down the road a year. Stone, they've kicked the ball down a road that they don't have control over anymore because he's an unrestricted free agent next summer. Duchesne's a UFA next summer. What are the odds right now, Matt Duchesne's looking at Ottawa and saying, I'm so glad to be here? And, of course, you got Dzingel, Pyatt, Weidman, and then that Carlson guy who's still out there. Trade rumors. How many trade rumors are we going to see with Ottawa this year? And it's weird because it was a year ago, last summer, we're talking about how, yeah, Ottawa's probably overachieved a little bit, but they should still be a playoff team in 2018. Nope. And now it's apocalypse. It's Armageddon. I mean, it's a weird thing because Cody Ceci gets a 1 year, $4.3 million contract, and that's good for him. But for the Senators, it's another contract next summer they have an issue with. Because of the fact that Stone signed 1 year, Ceci signed 1 year, it just feels to me like nobody has any faith in the Senators. You look at a lot of guys saying right now, 5 years, 6 years, 7 year, 8 year deals. If they're staying with a team that drafted them, you can sign 8 years. And here we are, with guys in Ottawa going, oh, I'll stay next year. Well, you still have the rights, and nobody's going to sign an offer sheet, so I'll stay for a year. It's going to be a rough year, and the weird part is that while they're rebuilding, they don't have a ton of cap space. You look at cap space right now, and I'm going to go ahead and double check, but I'm pretty sure it's like $6 million. Yeah, they have $6 million in cap space this year. So the team is looking like a disaster to many, and there are those that want to see Melnyk sell the team, which is not going to happen. And yet here we are, and you've got Stone, Duchesne. Duchesne, and Carlson are the three kind of big names on that list. Now, Stone had a career year, and the idea that Stone's going to be more than a point per game player again this year, probably less than 50-50 on that one. But he is a 60-65 point player. These guys don't grow on trees. And in Ottawa's case, does this affect Brady Tkachuk? Does Tkachuk look at this right now and go, I'm going to go back to college? Because, Ottawa, I'm saying all the right things publicly, but privately I'm thinking to myself, this is not a situation I want to walk into. So I'm going back to college. It's not my fault they don't have next year's first round draft pick. I'm going to college. We'll figure this out. Because remember, for Tkachuk, if he doesn't sign, if he decides not to sign with Ottawa, not only does he become public enemy number one in Ottawa, but then he goes back into the draft. And while that's a ways out, did any of us a year ago foresee this? And I mean that. There were publications that had Ottawa missing the playoffs this past season. That when they did their projections said Ottawa doesn't have a lineup that can sustain this. And what's not even on this list is Craig Anderson, who apparently had asked for a trade in June. Now, whether or not he got talked out of that, we don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he sat down with Pierre Dorion and Eugene Melnyk, and they talked to him, and he's been talked out of wanting to get out of Ottawa. But if you add him to that list, if he wants out too, it's a bad situation. And the thing that gets me about it is, you come out of last year. Last year was kind of a disaster for Ottawa, obviously. But there were still enough parts there that you said, well, they can bounce back. And then Hoffman goes for Bodker. And there are certain other parts in there, too, that I guess you could look at and say, well, they have these prospects that could come in like a Logan Brown. But Ottawa's got an issue. And the 1 year extension for Cody Ceci kicks that can down the road, while we looked yesterday at Stone, who could be a UFA next summer. And if Stone wanted to stay in Ottawa, to me, he would have signed a 5 or 6 year deal. He would have signed a longer deal. And nobody in Ottawa that I'm aware of has said anything publicly about, we'll be fine, everything will be great. And we're still waiting to hear from Erik Karlsson. So for Ottawa, it just continues. And who knows where it goes from here. So here's the question I have for you guys. Ceci at $4.3 million. Does Ottawa sit down with Ceci and Stone over the next 2 weeks, next 2 months, however long it takes, to work on extensions for them, or is this just a sign they're both going to be gone next summer? Does Stone go as a rental at the deadline in order that they can get back a first rounder? Because they have to get a first rounder next June. They can't afford to go into the 2019 draft. If Colorado's going to have a lottery pick, they can't afford not to have any first round draft picks. Just the optics of that are just awful. So does Stone go out in order to make that happen? Does Ceci get traded out? We know Karlsson's going to go. They're going to ask for at least a first rounder back from him. And what is Matt Duchene thinking right now? So again, I'd be interested to know what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.